Hello, and welcome back to another Remnants of Naezith individual level discussion. For today, we're going to be taking a look at Potential, a very interesting and challenging map. Potential looks a little something like this. We've got a couple of floating platforms, one giant thing sticking up in the middle, and another floating platform leading to the remnant at the end. Completing this level is not super difficult. Getting very fast at this level is incredibly difficult. So let's take a look at how that's done. Alright, so we are actually going to do something a little bit different than usual for this level. I have open here an MS Paint version of this level that I masterfully stitched together using MS Paint because I'm awesome at MS Paint. And we're going to use this to go through some of the different routes because this level has a ton of freedom with the routes that you can choose to use. There are certain parts of this map that diverge and then reconverge in later sections based on how difficult you want the level to be. So you can easily mix and match all of the different parts of a level into one run that fits your playstyle. So to start things off, we're going to take a look at the easiest possible route. And this route is going to take us from the start. We're going to fall down, throw a grapple onto this block. Every route is going to converge on grappling on this block. So that's going to take us flying up here. We're going to land over top of this and actually land on it. And then from here, we're going to jump off, hit a grapple onto this point, and then go falling down here. Do a nice grapple here, and that swing will take us to the end. And then we should be able to throw up a video of what that looks like right now. So some key things to note. We do a small hop at the start here so that we can start falling just a little bit sooner. Then you're going to see that we weave to the left and back to the right so that this grapple is as long as it can be. We're actually going to dash during this grapple here so that the grapple will send us flying a little bit up, and then you'll see we do a dash jump onto the middle part. Dash jump here to land on the middle. We do an immediate double jump nice and high so we can grapple up here. Don't want that grapple to last too long because we want to be able to hit this grapple, dash at the bottom, and finish off the level. So that was the easiest possible route. The second route that we're going to do is very slightly more difficult, not by very much, but it is a little bit more difficult just because this swing that we're going to do around this block is a little bit more finicky. So it's going to start off the same way. We're going to jump off of here, go flying down. We're going to hit the same grapple point as with the other route. We're going to swing, and this one we're actually going to swing a little bit higher up than the green route so that when we go through it like this, we can actually fall over here, swing on this, and then that will carry us over to here where we can grapple up here and follow the green route all the way in. And so that looks a little something like this. So some things of note, we're doing the same small hop, the same weave, the same long grapple as before. This hold time is slightly different because we need to get a little bit higher up so that we can make it over this. Our grapple here should be as high up and early as possible so that we get the speed sooner. Nice big hop, and then we finish off the level the same way. So there you go, not that much more difficult. This final route, on the other hand, is actually considerably more difficult, mostly because it uses the U-turn, spin, turnaround, grapple mechanic. I forget what I actually called that in my tech video. But that thing where you go flying up, grab onto something, and spin around it, and then come back down the other side. So for that one, we're going to start the same way. We're going to fall off. We're going to grapple onto the same block in the top corner again. But this time, instead of following the same path as green and blue, we're actually going to release much lower so that we can go sort of down and down like this. We're going to hit a grapple onto here, a nice long grapple. That's going to launch us up at a very particular angle so that we can hit another grapple onto this corner. And then that grapple will take us up and over the block here, down, and then we will reconverge with yellow, grappling here, and continue on our way, following along with the other two into the exact same ending. And so that route looks a little something like this. So this one starts off the same, a small hop and the weave. Again, we want to grab nice and high up, and then a very small dash jump here. It's because we want this grapple to be very long, otherwise it's incredibly difficult to hit the correct angle to get this second hook. So we hit it there. Now optimally, we will continue to hold on to right here and get just a very tiny up and over. It saves quite a bit of time if we can hold right the entire way through. Sometimes that's not possible, and you need to either let go of right or go left a little bit first and then right. Some runs in the top 10 use that as well, but optimally you'll be holding right this whole time and basically just hope and pray that you get the correct spin around here. Releasing here at the right time is rather difficult, so that's something that can mess up quite easily. And then just be wary that you have quite a bit of speed here, so don't want to mess that grapple up. The ending, the same as before. There you go. Pretty tricky to do. So those are the three most basic routes. There are a couple of other things to note, and that is that at the start, you can actually do a downwards dash pull, and that looks something like this. So this downwards dash pull is kind of annoying just because you have to do it on a single block one by one. But the key here is when we're falling down at the start, we want to just tap left just a little bit so that we start falling into this wall. And if we hold left, it's actually going to decrease our speed because we're sliding along it and falling down like that. So as long as we've just tapped left once and we fall into the wall without holding against the wall, we'll still be able to jump off the wall without actually having to hold into the wall and slide along. So you'll see that we start falling into the wall, but we don't do the sliding animation. And then we want to wait until we're down below the wall, right about here is where we want our torso to be. And you're going to see that I do a dash and a jump at the exact same time. So I press both of those buttons at the same time. And then immediately after, as soon after as I can manage, I press and hold grapple. And that'll give us this sort of spinning animation here. So there is the dash and jump, and then you'll see that I throw out the grapple immediately afterwards. Boom, and that gives us this sort of swinging up animation. And then as soon as I reach the top, I'm going to want to jump again, and that'll give us that down. And then from here, things go as normal. The other two main things to note are, one, if you choose to do this downwards dash pull at the start here, then that actually means that at this point, where all of the three routes would normally dash, the D here for dash, if you're doing the dash pull route, then you're actually not going to dash here because you won't have an extra dash up. So that's one thing to note about the downward dash pull route. And the other thing to note about all of these routes is in the clips that I showed at the end, they did a grapple onto this little part here. That grapple is kind of annoying to hit, so if you're just trying to improve your time and not going for a top time, instead of that, you can actually, if you wanted to, just do a pull into this top part here to pull yourself into the remnant as you're flying up, and that looks a little something like this. As you come up to the end here, we're going to do our grapple, go swinging up, little bit to the right and then a little bit to the left, just so that we don't bonk into the wall on our way up. And then you'll see that as I pass by this top part, I'm just going to throw it a grapple and then a jump, holding grapple, and that gives us a nice tiny pull into the mountain. Easy peasy. And there you have it. That is everything that you should ever want to know about potential. All of the possible routing choices that you can make, all of the different ways you can go. Remember these points of convergence where all of the different paths sort of meet in the same spot. So here and here, here, where all of the different paths meet. You can pick and choose what you want to do in those instances and sort of tailor them to your current skill level, what you're trying to improve on, etc. I'm going to close this video out with Chez's world record run. So thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful evening, day, night, or whatever it may be. Take care.